President Vladimir Putin said it would allow for long-term settlement of the crisis. Julia Chapman, Moscow.
Senior Republicans are backing President Donald Trump's pursuit of legal challenges against the results of the US election. One of those is Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who spoke on the Senate floor. The president's presented no evidence of widespread fraud. Jagruti Dave reports from Washington.
Mitch McConnell declined to congratulate President-elect Joe Biden in his speech in the Senate and instead defended President Trump.
President Trump is 100% within his rights to look into allegations of irregularities and weigh his legal options.
The president is still refusing to concede the election to Joe Biden. His Attorney General William Barr is allowing federal prosecutors to investigate voter fraud allegations before results are certified, despite the lack of evidence pointing to election fraud.
The UK's unemployment rate has risen again, up to 4.8% in the third quarter as coronavirus continues to take its toll on the economy. Young people aged between 16 and 24 have been hardest hit, as Benji Hire reports from London.
The increase is only 0.3% over 3 months, but the number of people out of work grew by the largest amount since May 2009, and the chairman of NatWest, Sir Howard Davies, believes the situation is only getting worse.
I think the forecasts remain that we are likely to get to 7.5% if we're lucky, and a bit more than that if we're unlucky.
The UK's Finance Minister Rishi Sunak admits the figures underline the scale of the challenge the country's facing. However, he's received criticism for taking too long to continue the government's job retention scheme. It's now been sustained until the end of March, though many firms made employees redundant in anticipation for it ending last month. Benji Hire, London.
McDonald's says it will launch a plant-based meat alternative line called McPlant in 2021. The fast food company says there will be plant-based burgers, chicken substitutes and breakfast options. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go.
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't. Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No.
Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this.
To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Here goes the last DJ.
Gentlemen,
I wash my hands of this weirdness.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another brand new episode of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Tuesday, November 10th. We are your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world. Still joined by my co-host, Mr. Tony Sanfilippo. Tony, a little bit of a NyQuil hangover, but other than that, how you feeling?
Yeah, feeling better, getting past all this wonderful crap.
Guess what, bitch? Coronavirus!
Yeah. It sucks. But I got some tea.
That's
I don't
good.
drink coffee, but I got some tea to clear the throat, so it should be a good show. Had I wouldn't say a great weekend. It was a lot of sleeping and resting and getting better. Quarantined in the house, so didn't do much. How's your weekend?
If you folks didn't notice, obviously we were off yesterday. We decided to take the day off. I helped my grandmother move.
Thanks for the maker.
Right.
C-3PO says.
Saturday helped my grandmother move and just moving a lot of furniture and stuff. And I have fibromyalgia. And so Sunday and yesterday I was just feeling it. I was in so much pain. Could barely get out of bed. Decided, we're going to take the day off and not do the show. But you know what? We are back today with a brand new show and looking forward to entertaining all of you. So speaking of which, let's go ahead and kick things off the way we do each and every show with a question from my co-host. Tony, you saw the Borat movie, Borat 2. What did you think of it?
It's not nice. I didn't like it. It had funny moments, but overall, very bad movie.
I agree. It was... again, it had those moments of hilarity, but overall, not the best. I don't think it had the same effect that the first one did, where nobody really knew who he was, what the character was. Now it was just a little overplayed.
Well, Giuliani sure as hell didn't know who he was.
No.
That's for sure. Yeah. So if you guys are want to watch that movie for the whole creepy Giuliani thing, you just go to the end of the movie because that's where it is.
Yeah.
It's the very end. It's like the last thing on there.
So let me ask you this. By watching the movie, did it happen to order any sex toys for you?
No. No. Me don't like, because I like a sexy time, but I didn't order the toys from the Mike Pennis. Mr. Mike Pennis.
Well, luckily that wasn't the case for you, but it was for this woman. A woman says her Amazon Alexa ordered 3 sex toys after overhearing Borat do it on his new film. Katie Brown, 26, was charged $107 for 3 erotic fleshlights. Her brother, Bobby, 25, claimed her voice control device had perked up while watching Borat 2. Sacha Baron Cohen.
Brown?
No.
Was it his prerogative?
It was her last name? It is Bobby Brown. Mm-hmm. Look at that.
Yeah.
Sacha Baron Cohen's comic Kazakh character tries to order 3 fleshlights within Alexa, but instead receives the rubber playthings. Artist Katie says, my Alexa was next to the TV. When she went off, my brother knew it had happened and came to me to check. I was in stitches, but then I thought, wait a minute, $107? I need to cancel this as quickly as I can. She got a full refund and stopped her Alexa from making orders. Katie of Milksham Wilt says, my advice would be don't put your Alexa next to the television. It's a lesson learned. Amazon said when customers order using Alexa, the item will not automatically be purchased, but rather added to your shopping cart. So, if you are listening to something, watching something, and they say, Alexa, order fleshlights, just be careful. And if that triggered it, then let us know.
Sexy time. Katie Brown, she likes the fleshlight. I dated a girl named Katie Brown back in junior high. She was cute.
This Katie Brown's cute too. She's Irish too. So
Irish, hey.
You should reach out to her.
Ironically enough, Katie had a half brother named Bobby. So.
No kidding.
And Bobby actually listens to the show every once in a while. So if you're watching, Bobby, hello.
Very cool. Well, folks, we have a great show lined up for you today. It is Tuesday. Let's talk about today's show, shall we?
This is Taco Tuesday. I'm glad you played that. I don't know what day it is anymore.
I know. It's all a big blur.
So it's Tuesday. I was waiting for it to say the third day, huh? When? What? Who?
Ooh, you're jumping ahead, Tony. You're in for a world of hurt if you think it's Thursday.
Yeah, no.
Not so much. Well, on today's show, as we do on Tuesdays, we have Animal Tales, sponsored by Rough Riders. We have babysitting horror stories.
Babysitter is not a whore, but horror.
Our call-in topic today is DoorDash disasters. We have a segment called You Do What? We have This Day in History, and up next, Tony is here with the entertainment news. Folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
The most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Tuesday, November 10th. Now, we have a thing called the Fenix Line. It is a 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line giving you guys the opportunity to chime in on anything whatsoever. Maybe Alexa accidentally ordered a sex toy for you. We don't know, but you can let us know. The number for the Fenix Line is 855-FENIX-RADIO. That's 855-FENIX-RDO or 855-336-4973. All we ask is that you keep it entertaining. We will compile those together and put them out in a future show. Now it is the second segment of this show, and that means Tony's here with the entertainment news.
Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, November 10th, and let's roll on with the Filippo Fast Five. So over the weekend, Jeopardy host Alex Trebek sadly passed away. The TV game show icon, admired by all, is gone at 80. He had battled stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Alex Trebek continued filming new episodes of Jeopardy until October 29th, meaning there are still several new shows left featuring the beloved late game show host. The last episode featuring Trebek will air on December 25th, Christmas Day. Sony Pictures Entertainment, which produces the syndicated series, has not announced a new host yet. Definitely a sad, we knew it was coming, unfortunately, at some point, but, I think all of a sudden it was, it just kind of happened, and he kept working through it, so.
Yeah, with everything that was coming out, he was saying that things were getting progressively better, but looks like they took a turn for the worse. Boy, words are hard today. It's not even Wednesday yet.
Yeah.
But the only redeeming factor is that he will meet his nemesis, Sean Connery, somewhere in the afterlife. So
yeah, absolutely. I can't believe they went all within a week.
I know, that's crazy, right?
It was definitely crazy. I'll get you, Trebek.
Take anal bum covers for 400.
400. A Bloodshot sequel has been announced, with Vin Diesel returning to star as the regenerating super soldier hero. Strong rental and home sales for the original Bloodshot led DMG Entertainment to greenlight the sequel. That's cool. Did you get a chance to see Bloodshot?
I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't either, but that's cool. Gets a sequel. Hopefully it'll actually get to be in theaters, especially if this vaccine gets approved. So, which that's not part of the entertainment news, but it's about 90% ready, or it's 90% effective, almost ready.
It's 90% something.
So hopefully that'll come out soon. Rampage director Brad Payton and Dave Bautista are teaming up to produce a big-budget sci-fi fantasy movie called Universe's Most Wanted, which is slated to go into production spring next year. The only worry I have is Rampage on there. That movie was terrible.
It was not great. But Dave Bautista's a lot of fun to watch. Even that kids movie he recently did, My Spy, watched it with the boys, and it was entertaining as hell.
That's good. Yeah, Bautista's fun. He's like The Rock. They make some pretty good action movies, but every once in a while they put a clunker of a film out. That's for sure.
Yeah.
9 Inch Nails were inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this weekend. Other artists included in this year's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was the Notorious B.I.G., the Doobie Brothers, Whitney Houston, Depeche Mode, and T-Rex. My beef with they should just not call it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It should just be the Music Hall of Fame.
Bingo. Yeah, there's no reason that Notorious B.I.G. or Whitney Houston belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but they do deserve a Hall of Fame designation for just the overall music.
For pop and rap, yeah. They should just get rid of that whole rock and roll thing and just strictly the Music Hall of Fame.
I agree.
It'd be perfect. Because there's too many weird bands that go in, but congratulations to all those. Yeah. Definitely all worthy. And then Foo Fighters debuted Shame Shame on Saturday Night Live. It's off their new album, Medicine at Midnight, the band's 10th studio album, which will arrive February 5th, 2021. And that was your Fast Five. It wasn't very fast. But
it was the somewhat fast five.
But it's okay, You zoomed right into the entertainment portion of
there
things.
You go.
So this week's box office report, as there is still a box office, believe it or not, had 10 films in it this week. So that's good. So we do have a top 10. Coming in at number 1 was Kevin Costner drama Let Him Go. Not sure what it's about. My sister was telling me she wanted to go see it, but it ended up pulling in $4.1 million to take in the number 1 spot for the box office this weekend.
All right.
Come Play, the horror film with the kid in the iPad that can see little monsters and stuff, drew in a 1.7 for number 2, brings it to 5.6. Come play. Let him in. Let him go. The War with Grandpa still pulling in some money at number 3, 1.5. Its total is 13.4 at the box office. Honest Thief, aka Taken 7, 1.1 million, so it's up to 11.2. Tenet is up to a total of 55.1 million box office total. Toy Story re-entered the top 10. It was number 6. The Empty Man, never heard of that, came in at number 7. True to the Game brought in 0.27 million at number 8. Spell, number 9, and The New Mutants still alive and kicking with 0.11 million, bringing its total to 23.5 million at the box office. So they're definitely pulling at strings to keep it going. But hey, there's 10 films you could go to the box office and see right now.
Better than it has been.
Yeah, it really has. I've never heard of some of those movies though.
Me neither.
True to the Game. It wasn't even just True to the Game. It was True to the Game 2.
I didn't realize there was a first one. All right.
Yeah, if you missed the first one, well, the sequel's out, baby.
All right.
I couldn't even tell you who's in it.
Nope.
Jurassic World Dominion wraps up an unprecedented 18 months of pandemic-era production. The third film in the Jurassic World series and the 6th Jurassic Park film overall is all shot up, and it did an unprecedented feat per Deadline. 40,000 COVID tests, millions of dollars spent on protocols, and the cast and crew isolating in a bubble for months. And director Colin Trevorrow remarked regarding the wrap, "There are a lot of emotions I can't put into words. It has been remarkable. Our crew and cast has been so resilient. All producers have worked around the clock to make this the best it can be. It is very inspiring." So the movie, which will unite all the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World films, including Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, Omar Sy, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, and Sam Neill, is going to release June 10th, 2022. But that's really cool during this pandemic and how hard it's been with protocol, social distancing, wearing masks, yada, yada. The fact that they finally got this thing wrapped, a big budget blockbuster, that's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, they've been working at it for a while. Obviously, it had to be shut down for a period of time, and then they had to figure out how they were going to go back and deal with, the way the world is right now. And looks like they figured it out, got it wrapped, and now it's just time for post-production, just special effects and editing and music and all that stuff, so that way we can actually, hopefully, see it come June 2022.
Yeah. Well, and that's the great thing. So for everything that's been bad this year, I think the movie theater business will definitely pop next year, provided they don't shut down. If they could just hang on a little longer. Right. They do have some big heavy hitters in the can. So there's a lot, basically all the big hitters this year, plus a few sprinkled in for next year.
Yep.
All will come out. And then I don't know how accurate the lineup was, but our friend of the show, Stacy, sent me a list of like Marvel movies, the new release dates on those, and we're getting quite a bit of Marvel movies next year, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I sent you a text the other day that last Friday was supposed to be the day that the Eternals was released for Marvel,
out, right?
And obviously, we're not even going to see that for a while because we still have to wait for Black Widow to be released.
Yeah, on that picture, it went like Black Widow in May, and then in July it was Shang-Chi, which was supposed to come out in May of next year.
Mm.
And then the Eternals is still on course, but it's now November of next year.
Huh.
And then we'll get Spider-Man in December for Christmas. So,
right.
So you get an overabundance, if that's accurate. And as of now, it's hard to tell if any of this is accurate until
could change at a moment's notice. So you never know.
Were you a fan of the Fantastic Beasts movies?
Not as much as the Harry Potter movies. Fantastic Beasts were okay. I have a problem with Eddie Redmayne. I can't understand half of what he's saying because he mumbles all his lines, but they were entertaining.
All right. Well, fans of the series, I never watched them, so I don't know. Fans of the series are going to be disappointed to know that Johnny Depp has been pulled from the Fantastic Beasts salaries. he still is going to get his entire salary for Fantastic Beasts 3, even though he won't even film it. He filmed just one scene for Fantastic Beasts 3 before Warner Brothers asked him to resign. But due to his contract, which is a pay-or-play deal, Depp will still make his full 8-figure salary on the movie despite the single scene's worth of work.
Damn,
So
that's a lot.
that's pretty
of money.
impressive for just one scene.
That's upwards of $10 million or more.
Yeah,
Don't know what
and
it was.
Unfortunately, in a nutshell, why he was asked to leave is he's going through a lot of personal. He's going through a real nasty divorce outside in his personal life, and there was some allegations in there that the ex-wife had thrown at him, and I think Warner Brothers just wanted, gentlemen, I wash my hands of this and that, and, So I think that was the big reason why.
And I know you haven't
too bad.
I know you haven't seen it, Tone, but he was essentially the Voldemort character. He was the big bad. It was sort of released that Colin. Oh man, it's gonna drive me nuts.
Is it Colin Farrell?
Colin Farrell, yeah.
Yeah.
He was in disguise as him in the first movie. And in any case, I wonder how they're going to recast the character, because obviously they have to do it with that character. Maybe he changes his appearance to evade the law. Who knows? But I think they'll figure it out. But they're decent enough movies.
Well, okay. Well, maybe I'll have to check them out. They look all right. I've seen trailers for them and things like that, but never actually watched them.
Yeah, just put the closed captioning on whenever Eddie Redmayne is talking.
Okay, sounds good to actually understand what he's saying.
Yep.
And then lastly, in entertainment news, before we roll on the birthdays, as you guys, unless you were living under a rock, Joe Biden has elected the 46th president of the United States.
Say what?
But Alec Baldwin will be losing his job as Donald Trump on Saturday Night Live, and he is overjoyed. Baldwin wrote on Twitter, "I don't believe I've ever been this overjoyed to lose a job before. It will be comforting when we have a president who doesn't tweet twice as much as I do. They're going to need an enormous shipment of tissue sent to Mar-a-Lago onto my next wish. Thanks for everyone who went out and voted in this year's elections. Let's keep this going." But he's pretty stoked to not have to play Donald Trump on Saturday Night Live anymore.
Well, it's he may have to for a little bit longer, just because things are still crazy and up in the air, and
and this is just elect. Nothing is he has not conceded yet, and there's still some dramatics. So there's still get your popcorn ready. We still don't know what the heck's going on.
It's just 2020 being 2020.
Yeah, so that's why we just entertain you and stay out of that arena. So let's boogie on to the birthdays.
It's my birthday!
Oh, yeah! It's a combo of birthdays. It's yesterday's and today's into one sandwich.
Ooh.
McSteamy, a.k.a. Eric Dane, is 49. And the McSteamy thing is from Grey's Anatomy, if you watch that. Le Champion, the lead singer of Fozzy and current AEW wrestler Chris Jericho, 49. Actually, no, he's 50.
He's 50, yep.
This thing's wrong. He's 50. I had a temp of 98 degrees. Well, this guy was in a band from 98 degrees. Nick Lachey, he's 46. Still singing about things at 41 years young. Cisco, still singing about that thong. Hulk Mash. Hulk, huh? 68. Lou Ferrigno, the original Hulk.
Actually, he's 69 today.
Is he 69?
He is.
That birthday thing is it's inaccurate at times.
Yep.
So Vanessa Lachey, the wife of Nick Lachey, shares the same exact birthday as he does. She's 39. And one of the best Instagram photographers you could follow, Clark Little. He's a big Hawaiian photographer of the ocean and wonderful guy. You should follow him on Instagram. 51. I was stretching for birthdays yesterday. And then today's birthdays, Ellen Pompeo, who is Meredith Grey on Grey's Anatomy, is 50. Taron Egerton, who plays Elton John and Eggsy in The Awesome Kingsman, he's 30. That bug is fuzzy. Tracy Morgan, 51. Let's see. Teddy Bridgewater is 28. Warren G is 50.
Regular.
Zach Ertz is 30. Sinbad, 64. Coach Mike McCarthy, who just wants a win, is 57. And Denver Bronco quarterback Drew Lock is popping and locking at age 24. Less dancing, start winning, please. That'd be great.
Exactly.
That's your birthdays.
Folks, that does it for the entertainment news. When we come back, it's Tuesday, and we do Animal Tales, sponsored by Rough Riders. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals.
Wow.
And beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm gonna do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency. Who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Listen live at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. Indeed. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Tuesday, November 10th. Now, we are all over social media with many of you watching us right now on Facebook Live or YouTube Live as we speak. Luckily, Facebook, I've been able to share to more groups. Still can't start a watch party for whatever reason, but it's more of the restrictions that they have with whatever's going on with the elections. But besides that, you can get a hold of us on social media. I'm available at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. That's Kristian with a K, Phoenix with an F, radio, of course, with an R, or on Instagram and Twitter at Phoenix Media Radio. Tony's available at facebook.com/Tony.Sanfilippo. That's SANFILIPPO.94, or on Instagram at Tony.Sanfilippo81. Now, today is Tuesday. As we do on Tuesdays, we're talking Animal Tales, sponsored by RoughRiders.org. Now, Rough Riders is a 501c3 dog rescue nonprofit based out of here in northern Nevada. And the mission there is to transport dogs from the rural kill shelters into the Reno metro area, working with local shelters, local rescues to find them homes, give them a second chance at life. If you want more information, head over to roughriders.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/roughriderssaves. One other thing on that note is I did a wonderful interview with the ladies of Wine Talk late last week. And if you head over to the Facebook page, you can see that. It's a discussion. They are winemakers out of California, and they are donating a portion of their proceeds to anything they sell to roughriders.org. So wonderful company supporting a wonderful organization. With that being said, let's roll into Animal Tales.
Dogs and the cats, they take up the middle where the honeybee hums and the cricket fiddles, the donkey prays and the pony neighs, the old grey badger sighs.
Listen to the bass, it's a one on the bottom where the bullfrog croaks and the hippopotamus moans and groans with the big to-do, and the old cow just goes moo.
I just want to start slapping my knee and stick a piece of straw in my mouth and... that one always gets me. Well, let's go ahead and start with our first story in Animal Tales. This one comes out of your neck of the woods, Tony. Denver voters repealed the city's pit bull ban, which is such a wonderful thing. Denver officials are preparing to welcome pit bulls back into city limits with 2J, the measure to repeal the city's ban, leading by a comfortable enough margin to declare victory. Denver joins a nationwide trend to repeal legislation banning pit bulls, which many say discriminates against communities of color. I don't necessarily agree with that, but the path toward repeal was rocky. Mayor Michael Hancock shot down Councilman Chris Herndon's attempt to pass it via City Council earlier this year with his first and only veto in 3 terms. Herndon took it to voters instead, and it drew no major organized opposition leading up to the election. The ban will officially repeal on January 1st and replaced with a type of restricted license. Pit bull owners will be asked to bring their pets, a limit of 2 pit bulls per home, to the Denver Animal Shelter in Val Verde for an assessment, which should take 30 to 45 minutes. City spokesman Kyle Wagner said in a release, the assessments will cost $25 each. If a dog does not share a majority of its characteristics with typical pit bulls, again, I don't agree with that, it will be allowed in Denver with a restricted license. If its appearance does match a pit bull's, the dog will be issued a breed-restricted permit. That permit will include documentation for the name and address of the dog's owner, emergency contacts, a description of and recent photograph of the dog, and proof that it's neutered or spayed, microchipped, and vaccinated. The permit will cost an additional $30. Should the dog remain in Denver for 3 years without incident, the breed-restricted permit requirement can be removed. It's a step in the right direction. I, again, don't agree with some of the things that were being said about, the typical characteristics of a pit bull. Pit bulls are no more aggressive than a Chihuahua. We've got 2 of them here. They are the sweetest dogs in the world. They will basically sit on your lap, love you to death. And it's again, they get a bad rap for a reason that people have taken advantage of their size, their musculature, and their devotion to their owners. Other than that, they are just sweet, sweet dogs. So that's my 2 cents.
They really are sweet dogs. Yours and my dad has a couple of pit mixes, and they're very sweet. Very friendly. They're not aggressive at all. They're just muscular, and they're just big.
Yeah.
It's kind of the thing, It's like you said, any dog can be a violent type of dog breed. It's just all about how you raise it and how you're brought up. Seems like I'm proud of Denver for making a step in the right direction. That's awesome. Still a lot of hoop jumping, but if you got a pit and it's not banned anymore, hey, it's worth it if you really want one. So do a couple of hoop jumps.
Great dogs, and they were labeled nanny dogs for the longest times because they have such devotion to their owners. They love kids. My boys will climb all over our dogs, and they won't even begin to become aggressive. They just love the attention. So,
right.
Good news, step in the right direction. Still a little biased in the way that they're handling it, but you know what? I'm not going to complain at this point. Let's move on to our next animal tale. More than 600 adoptable cats and dogs were airlifted from Hawaii to the U.S. mainland in the largest animal rescue flight in history, according to Hawaii's Emergency Management Agency. Dubbed Paws Across the Pacific, a chartered Hercules C-130 plane flew across the Hawaiian Islands on October 28th, picking up dogs and cats from overcrowded shelters on Kauai, Oahu, and Maui. Pet shelters in Hawaii are in a COVID-19 crisis. Normal operations have been affected by months of shutdown, economic turndown, limited hours, and routine flights to mainland being halted, said Liz Baker, CEO of Greater Good Charities, which supported the flight in partnership with Wings of Rescue. The Paws Across the Pacific flight is urgently needed to make space in Hawaii's shelters for at-risk pets who otherwise wouldn't be able to receive necessary care to survive. The plane landed at Seattle's Boeing Field on Thursday, where it was met by volunteers from pet shelter and rescue groups across Washington State, Oregon, Idaho, and Montana. And again, just a wonderful effort to get dogs out and adopted and safe where they would otherwise potentially be put down. So great job for those folks who were a part of that 600 animal rescue.
That's awesome. That's always I like the great news where you just, you get the good out of all of that.
Mm-hmm. It's so nice to see that people are doing what's right for the animals. But we had a duo of good news animal stories. This next one, a little bit on the weirder side. Public health officials say a salmonella outbreak linked to pet hedgehogs has infected several people across Canada. Oh, Sonic, the adventures will go on. The Public Health Agency of Canada confirmed 11 total cases of salmonella in the provinces of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Quebec between the months of December 2019 and August 2020. Many of the individuals who became sick reported having direct or indirect contact with hedgehogs before their illness occurred. The agency was able to identify individuals who reported buying hedgehogs from various sources, including pet stores, breeders, or online sellers. The ages of those who became ill are between 2 months and 63 years old. None of the patients suffered serious health threats or were hospitalized. The majority of those infected are male. The investigation also determined that the infection is spread to an individual's mouth through kissing and hugging the hedgehog. So if you have a hedgehog, just don't kiss Sonic. It's probably better for your safety.
Yeah. Oh, Sonic, don't kiss because you can get spikies to the lip.
The kissing adventures, they'll go on. Well, folks, that does it for Animal Tales for this week. When we come back, we have a segment called Babysitting Horror Stories. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you guys in a few.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks, to the fourth and final segment of the first hour of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Tuesday, November 10th. We still have plenty ahead with our second hour. Lots of fun stuff for you coming that way. But in the meantime, if you missed a portion of the show or you want to go back and catch up on any of the previous shows, it's easy enough to do so. Head over to phoenixmedia.us, click on the show's link, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. From there, you can get video, you can get audio as well, or head over to wherever you get podcasts. Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart, about 20 in all. While you're there, be sure to subscribe. That way you always have the latest episode. Leave a review. Let us know what you think and tell your friends, because sharing is caring. Now, we do care about you guys, and obviously we were out yesterday, so we missed our Monday segment of Silly Rabbit. This bit is for kids. Oh, I love that Pee Wee Playhouse sound. But figured we'd give you just a little taste of that with a segment that we are calling Babysitting Horror Stories. Now, Tony, growing up, aside from watching your sister, did you ever babysit to make a few extra bucks?
No.
No, not at all.
No, I wasn't entrusted with that. So,
okay.
I sometimes do babysitting now. But no, growing up, no. I usually just my sister would probably be it, but
okay, all right, yeah,
no like horror stories out of it.
Yeah, in my early teens, I did a little bit of babysitting to make a few bucks here or there, but nothing. It wasn't like, one kid that I'd watch over and over and over again and form some sort of bond with or anything along those lines.
Right.
Just, if it was like a New Year's Eve party or something, some special occasion, you know what? I was around. I wasn't doing anything in particular, so, you know what? Might as well make a few extra bucks. But first up on the Babysitting Horror Stories says, my sister and I were babysitting this little girl who would run around in the dark and giggle like a haunted doll. After we put her to bed, she would sneak out, cut all the lights off, and scream. When we asked her why she would do that, she said, I just wanted to scream in the dark. Not to mention her parents came home 3 hours later than they said they would. When they arrived home and we told them about the situation, they told us, yeah, sometimes she does that at night. It's really weird. I don't know about you, but that would be terrifying.
That would be creepy.
Kids are creepy to begin with, and, I guess the only other thing she could do is come up and say, they're here.
Right.
Next up, you have this person who said, when I was 16, I babysat a very precocious 4-year-old. One time she told me she needed to use the restroom, and I asked her if she needed help. She was very insistent that no, she was a big girl and could do it all by herself. After 15 minutes, I started to worry and knocked on the door. She was like, I'm fine, don't come in, which prompted me to open the door. What do you think was all over the bathroom, Tone?
Oh, probably an overflowed toilet.
My first guess was that poop was smeared everywhere, but actually in this case, the sink, toilet, even the bottom parts of the mirror that she could reach were covered with her mom's menstrual pads. Guess she thought they were stickers.
Oh, no. Well, at least they weren't used.
Oh, God. That would be a horror story.
Borat, very nice. The Borat, the moon juice.
Next up...
That was a disgusting scene.
That was pretty gross. Next up, this person says, I used to babysit 3 boys, a set of twins and their younger brother. One time they threw a stool down the stairs and put a huge hole in the wall. On another occasion, when I was giving them all a bath, one of the twins screamed, and I looked over to see the youngest squatting and pooping in the tub.
Oh, no.
I pooped my pants.
Boys are disgusting. Boys are gross. I've got 2 of them. I love them, but they're gross. Next up, this person says, when I was in high school, I once had to babysit a 3-year-old neighbor and my 9-year-old sister. We were tossing a ball between the 3 of us in the house when it bounced very high and ended up on the balcony. When I went upstairs to retrieve it, my sister yelled, and I looked down to see brown liquid squirting out from under the neighbor girl's pant leg and onto the carpet. I instinctually ran to pick her up with my hand out to protect the white carpet, and a huge pile of diarrhea just plopped right into my hand.
Oh, gross.
That's gross.
And I bet it still got on the carpet, too.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, luckily my boys never had any of those sort of moments. I can remember Corbin, when he was in his baby seat once, had a what I call an ass-splosion. It's where he pooped with so much force that it shot up his back. But luckily the cleanup was fairly easy on that. So,
yeah. Oof, yeah.
Next up in babysitting horror stories, you have this person who says, I was babysitting a 3-year-old whose grandfather just passed a couple weeks earlier. We were out on a walk when she started singing, I only have 2 grandmas alive, very enthusiastically. Apparently this 3-year-old was happy that her grandfather passed and got to spend more time with her grandmothers.
Wow.
Yikes.
I don't think she quite comprehended, or maybe she did.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Not at that age.
No.
Moving on, once while babysitting this 8-year-old, we went on a walk by a creek. When I bent down to take a picture, she was suddenly right behind me and whispered in my ear, if I were to push you in, no one would ever find you. Yeah, I'd keep an eye on that kid. Make sure they're not torturing animals or, no Dexter proclivities there.
Yeah. Yay.
All right, let's move on with our babysitting horror stories. Here you have my, my sister babysat 2 kids, a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. She sent them to get ready for bed while she cleaned the kitchen. When she went upstairs to tuck them in, the 4-year-old was missing from her bed. She couldn't find her anywhere, so she put the 6-year-old to bed before going back downstairs to call their mom. But before she could dial the phone, the 6-year-old suddenly started screaming. Apparently, the 4-year-old had wedged herself between her sister's bed and the wall and had been waiting for her to get into bed so she could jump out and scare her. That's actually kind of hilarious, but
right,
especially for
that one's more fun.
Yeah,
so.
Especially the younger one doing it to the older one. My youngest one, Reese, likes to push Corbin's buttons to the extreme, and I don't know, maybe it's just a younger sibling thing. Did your sister ever do that to you, or were you more doing that to your sister?
It was me, it was our mom that would do it to us. So then I learned how to do that. But Shannon had her fair share of freak you out moments to get you. For sure.
Well, and I'm sure nowadays she would love the chance to try and freak you out.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on with our babysitting horror story. Says, when I was sitting for an 8-year-old boy, he came up to me, told me to close my eyes and hold out my hands for a surprise. He then put a cold, dead hamster in my open palms. His parents explained after a very panicked phone call that there was nothing to worry about. It had simply been stored in the freezer until the ground was soft enough to give it a proper burial. Needless to say, I did not volunteer my services again. That would be a little disconcerting if little kids like, here, check out my dead hamster.
Yeah, no, just the fact that it was still in there. Couldn't the parents humor the kid and just say, we'll give it a proper burial, and then just like come up with a box, but then like toss the thing?
Well, I'm gonna share something a little on the personal side. So Marley, our dachshund, recently passed. 15 years old age. She is in our freezer right now because we have to wait till the ground is soft enough that we can bury her. So,
oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
So we definitely sympathize with what, these folks are going through, but at the same time, it's a little strange to open up the freezer looking for some ice cream, and there's a pile of blankets there, which is our late dog Marley.
Oh man, it's at least not Tia.
So. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. This person says, I was nannying for 3 kids, a 6-month-old, a 10-month-old, and a 3-year-old. The 6-month-old had a cold, so he was on medication that caused horrible diarrhea. He had a blowout, and I didn't notice until he had scooted his butt across the floor, stuck his hands in the skid mark, and rubbed it all over the curtains.
Oh, no.
While I was cleaning him up, the 3-year-old had walked through the mess, leaving a trail of poop footprints on the floor. All this happened 30 minutes before their mom got home. Oh, I don't deal well with the bodily fluids and the bodily functions, and I couldn't imagine being in that position. It's just too gross for me. But what's not too gross for me is the
kids and poop. It happens.
Is the second hour of the show, which is coming up. Folks, don't go anywhere. When we come back, it is our call-in topic of DoorDash disasters. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you guys in about 7 minutes. You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open, don't speak with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit tunein2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. To explore our complete lineup, head over to phoenixmedia.us or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Armenia and Azerbaijan have agreed to stop fighting in the disputed territory of Nagorno-Karabakh. The deal was brokered by Russia, which will send peacekeepers to the region to enforce the agreement, as Julia Chapman reports from Moscow.
After more than 6 weeks of fighting and upwards of 1,000 people being killed, a truce has come into effect in Nagorno-Karabakh. Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev, whose forces have retaken substantial parts of the territory, called the deal a capitulation by Armenia. Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan called the deal incredibly painful, but said it had been taken after consultation with military experts. Azerbaijan's more powerful and better resourced military has substantially overpowered the Armenian side in the conflict. Both countries have accused each other of targeting civilian areas in and around Nagorno-Karabakh. Announcing the agreement, Russian President Vladimir Putin said it would allow for long-term settlement of the crisis. Julia Chapman, Moscow.
Senior Republicans are backing President Donald Trump's pursuit of legal challenges against the results of the US election. One of those is Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who spoke on the Senate floor. The president's presented no evidence of widespread fraud. Jagruti Dave reports from Washington.
Mitch McConnell declined to congratulate President-elect Joe Biden in his speech in the Senate and instead defended President Trump.
President Trump is 100% within his rights to look into allegations of irregularities and weigh his legal options.
The president is still refusing to concede the election to Joe Biden. His Attorney General William Barr is allowing federal prosecutors to investigate voter fraud allegations before results are certified, despite the lack of evidence pointing to election fraud.
The UK's unemployment rate has risen again, up to 4.8% in the third quarter as coronavirus continues to take its toll on the economy. Young people aged between 16 and 24 have been hardest hit, as Benji Hire reports from London.
The increase is only 0.3% over 3 months, but the number of people out of work grew by the largest amount since May 2009, and the chairman of NatWest, Sir Howard Davies, believes the situation is only getting worse.
I think the forecasts remain that we are likely to get to 7.5% if we're lucky, and a bit more than that if we're unlucky.
The UK's Finance Minister Rishi Sunak admits the figures underline the scale of the challenge the country's facing. However, he's received criticism for taking too long to continue the government's job retention scheme. It's now been sustained until the end of March, though many firms made employees redundant in anticipation for it ending last month. Benji Hire, London.
McDonald's says it will launch a plant-based meat alternative line called McPlant in 2021. The fast food company says there will be plant-based burgers, chicken substitutes and breakfast options. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go.
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't. Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this. You will rock this.
To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat. Cool. Very cool. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Here goes the last DJ.
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this weirdness.
Welcome back, folks, to the second hour of the Kristian Fenix radio show. It is Tuesday, November 10th. We are your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world. Still joined by my co-host, Tony Sanfilippo. Tony, during the break, did you get your smoothie?
No, did not do smoothie.
No smoothie today.
I'm out of stuff to make it. So
Gotcha. Well, you haven't been able to leave the house, so
can't do it today.
That's fair enough.
Nope. It's starting to get bare, but that's all right. I'll be allowed to leave starting tomorrow. So,
the quarantine is almost over,
I don't know.
Tone. Almost over.
Yep. So nope. I'm just drinking some more tea. Keep the throat going. That's it.
There you
just
go.
Tea today.
Out of your Spider-Man mug. Of course, you can't smell it, but how does it taste? Nice and warm. Nice and hot.
It's nice and warm. Yeah. It's just kind of a throat. I have one of the teas in there is just a throat coating one, so it didn't have a whole lot of flavor, but I threw some honey in it and it's good.
Getting that throat lubricated.
Yeah, just getting it ready for hour number 2, man. Hour number 2, here we go.
Well, we are into hour number 2, and of course we are in the interactive portion of the show. This is where we want you guys, the listeners and the watchers, to chime in on the topic of the day. Now, the way that we've been doing it is we give you guys the topic the day beforehand. So today we'll give you tomorrow's topic. Ask that you call in on the Fenix Line, 855-FENIX-RADIO. That's 855-FENIX-RDO. And leave your message for whatever the topic is. Now, if you do want to chime in live on the topic as we're talking about it, you can do that. Head over to facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. From there, just click into the live video that's on right now and put a comment into the comment section. Now, today's topic is DoorDash disasters. Now, obviously, I use DoorDash as an alliteration. It could be Postmates, it could be Uber Eats, could be Instacart, could be any one of the delivery services. We just want to know, where was it disastrous for you? Now, Tony, I know recently you tried getting one of your crumble cookies through them, but are there any DoorDash food delivery disasters that come to mind for you?
Not like disasters. They brought me the wrong. One time we did it at work. We ordered noodles and company, and they brought the wrong stuff. But
okay,
you just make do because you only have a half hour. So, unfortunately, you didn't get quite what you ordered, and it's not. You paid for it, but the whole haggle of actually trying to get it redelivered to you in a time where you're only on lunch for a half hour, you just make do.
Yeah.
So luckily it ended up being pretty good, but it just wasn't what me and my coworker ordered. So yeah, that would be my only mass disaster.
Okay. Well, at least you got some food and it was edible. The one that really comes to mind for me is a few months back, we had ordered through DoorDash Panda Express. And Panda Express is about a mile and a half from here. And I don't know exactly how it works, if they pick up multiple orders and then drop them off to multiple customers, if they do just one at a time. It seemed like in this case that our order was not only the last to be picked up after it was well ready, but then they went and dropped off all the other orders to a number of other people, with ours being the last one to be dropped off, even though we're a mile and a half away. So by the time we got our Panda Express, it was ice cold, and they forgot half our order. Which is frustrating, because then you have to get a hold of the DoorDash people, and they'll issue you a credit. But we were hungry then, and we only had half our food. half our cold food for that matter. So,
yeah, that's frustrating.
Yeah. And, obviously, they contract with normal people similar to Uber or Lyft to do these things. But, if you are one of those drivers, at least take the time to make sure the order's right, or plan your trip a little bit more accordingly, because unfortunately that doesn't make for very good ratings when they ask you to rate the driver. And sometimes is it the driver's fault, is it the store's fault, is it who knows? In that case, I would certainly say it was the driver's fault.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, a lot of these just to go pick up anything from or to have them deliver, it's pricey, man.
Yeah.
So last night I looked at doing Panda Express last night, and what normally would be my 2-plate and entree deal, which is like $10, it was going to run me after tip, delivery, service fee, and all that. It was gonna be $19, and I was just like, I can't justify $19 for Panda.
No way, and
so I ended up just staying home and cooking. Well, obviously I can't leave, so I had to just cook my own. I made my own Chinese, which it was okay. It saved me $19. I had to cook my own, and I overdid it in the fryer, the air fryer. I kept it in just a smidge too long, so it was just a little too crunchy.
Oh, but the air fryer, what a
the air fryer
wonderful
rocks,
invention.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it rocks.
But folks, that's what we're looking for. We are looking for your DoorDash disasters. When did it just go wrong for you? Go ahead and chime in now on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. Click on the video comment there. Folks, when we come back, it is all about you. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
The most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix radio show. It is Tuesday, November 10th. We are smack dab in the middle of our interactive portion of the show.
Smack dab.
The topic today is DoorDash disasters. And again, it doesn't have to be DoorDash. It can be Instacart, Uber Eats, Postmates, Grubhub, any of those. We just want to know when a food delivery service failed you. Now,
Grubhub.
Tony, anybody chime in on your end as far as disasters?
No, sadly, no one has chimed in on the Phoenix page, or at least on my shared Phoenix stream. And I talked to Mike and Lacey, and they've actually had nothing but good experiences. So they have yet to experience a bad one. So
hey,
that's awesome.
Good for them. Before the break, you were talking about delivery fees being prohibitive to getting it done. And, you know, in a lot of cases, you'll look for a special, a $0 delivery fee or $2.99 delivery fee. And then they've got service fees and taxes and things like that. But one day, again, a couple months ago, we were craving Chinese food. And our favorite place just a few miles away from here is Fortune Palace. And
yeah, right, that Fortune Palace.
And they're so good. Tony, you've been there a number of times. It's just delicious quality Chinese food, but it tends to be a little bit more on the expensive side. So we went through, we were on one of the apps, I think it was DoorDash, going through, figuring out what we want and, the combos. And it took us a good 30 minutes to really sort of dial it in, put it together. And then when we got to the checkout, noticed that the delivery fee was $18.95. And it just threw a wrench in that whole idea. And we had to start from scratch with a whole nother place to get food from, because I'm not paying $20 for delivery. That's ludicrous.
Yeah, there's times I bail. Like, seriously, last night, that was one of them. I tried to do it for Crumble on Friday when I was talking to you. And I just wanted a single cookie, just one. Like, I didn't need 4 because the crumble cookies are so damn big that a 4-pack is normally like $11 if you just go pick it up at the store, but they wouldn't do a single one. You could only do like 4 and higher. Well, the 4-pack $11 cookie was gonna be like $22.50 after service fees, and it's enough to turn me off where I'm just like, no, I don't need it that bad.
Right. Then you got to tip the delivery driver on top of that. And,
right.
And the one thing I will say is, these delivery drivers, they're making the best out of, a hard job market right now. As long as everything is good, give them a good tip.
Mm-hmm.
Help them out. Obviously, they're helping you with the convenience of not having to leave the house. So, that's definitely
and it's doing a lot of contactless delivery or pickup. During the whole pandemic and stuff, it's kind of crazy to me, like, because a lot of the times you don't have to interact with anybody, so you can walk right in and just grab your food, and they don't even ask for it. They don't ask for anything. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's sort of the honor system. It's you have to make sure that you're grabbing the right food, and they trust that you're grabbing it, and because if not, then that whole thing is screwed up. But that's just the way it is.
Crazy how that just works. They're just like, they don't check,
Well, while we're talking DoorDash disaster stories, here's some weird stories from the opposite side of the coin, from the delivery drivers themselves. For instance, this person said, pulled up to this easily $1.5 to $2 million house. Lady opens the door, and she's signing the receipt when I hear, Bethany, Willis is in the dog food again. This is deep in Louisiana, so this is all in typical Southern drawl. I look behind her and see a man chasing a full-grown pot-belly pig wearing an LSU jersey away from what I assume is the dog food. Willis returned to the area shortly after.
Was it a Burrow jersey?
Hey, it might have been. I don't know. But, only in the South do you get pot-belly pigs wearing college football jerseys getting into the dog food.
That's pretty awesome.
That's pretty cool. You have this delivery driver who said, delivered 30 pizzas to an Amish family. About 35-minute drive. The entire family met me outside to grab a pizza. I took the rest in and followed them inside to the dining table. The elder of the family gestured to me to sit down with them, and he pointed to the one open seat. I realized that they had saved me a seat to eat with them. I didn't know too much about the Amish back then, and I wasn't sure how rude it would be to say that I was working or couldn't or shouldn't. I was also thinking, on the other hand, that they could kill me. Remember, I was an uneducated 16-year-old. So I sat down and ate 2 slices of pepperoni pizza with them. I found the girl across the table to be very attractive. They said a prayer of some sort and didn't talk much after that. Just asked my name and how thankful they were for me to drive all that way. I finally had to go back to work. They didn't tip, which was fine. I enjoyed the time with them. My only question here is, how did the Amish family order the food? They don't believe in technology. They couldn't have called it. They couldn't have used an app.
That whole thing was weird to me. Yeah, because like, why would the Amish do? They don't. From my knowledge, I'm pretty uneducated with it, but just based on what I know, again, no technology. How are they ordering this stuff?
I don't know. Maybe they.
And why aren't they making their own food?
Maybe they sent a pigeon to the pizza place.
I just like how he's like, the girl was attractive.
Hey, if you're 16 years old and cute Amish girl sitting across from you, you never know. Folks, there is still time if you want to chime in on your DoorDash disasters. Just head over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. Click into the live video there and put your story. It can be a short one. But let's move on with the opposite side of the coin and delivery driver stories. You have a person who says, mid to late 50-year-old man comes to the door in an open towel robe wearing Spider-Man undies. Hey, he was rocking undies similar to your teacup. Says, I was a Chinese food delivery girl back in high school. This gentleman opened the door very casually and honestly. I didn't think much of his undies. What was really funny was from the other room, I heard what I assumed to be his wife call out, "Is that Chinese or pizza? Did I win?" The man saw the white plastic bag and sighed, "You won." As he was closing the door after giving a generous tip, all I could hear was a celebratory woo from the woman. So apparently they were testing to see what would arrive first, the Chinese or the pizza, which actually we did something very similar over the weekend. We ordered Little Caesars. I was craving some crazy bread, and we ordered Baskin Robbins, and we were competing. I ordered the pizza. Jesse ordered the Baskin Robbins. We were competing to see what arrived first, and the ice cream won out. So we had a little pre-pizza dessert, to say the least.
You know, it's funny. On Sunday during football, I actually craved Little Caesars, the deep dish one. Yeah, like how we used to do it when we were roommates. Like, you know, I don't like regular Little Caesar pizza. I think it sucks.
It's
but
not the best.
Every once in a while, the crazy bread and that deep dish, pretty good.
Yeah. It's it was definitely calling. We were gonna go out to a new pizza place around here, but my body just wasn't feeling it. So we ordered in, and luckily had some good ice cream and some decent pizza, some killer crazy bread.
It's always just decent. Yeah.
Moving on with delivery driver weird stories. Says, I once delivered pizza to what seemed like a gang house. I pulled up and there were all these intimidating dudes with tattoos and bandanas, all wearing the same colored clothes. I puckered up and felt my scrotum shrivel as I awkwardly shuffled past them with a bunch of pizzas to ring the doorbell. They were all staring me down. It felt like the longest walk ever. The person who ordered the pizza must have been the head honcho because he looked like the baddest of the bunch. The total was like $70, and he gave me a $100 bill and told me to keep the change. I bolted out of there and returned back to the pizza place on autopilot because I was so scared. Hey, at least he got a nice tip out of it, $30.
Yeah, he got a good tip, and he was judging.
Yeah,
what a judgy. Yeah. What if they're not even a gang? They're just a bunch of bros that are hanging out and having pizza.
Maybe there were a bunch of friends who were all dressed in leather and black going to see a Volbeat concert and thought maybe they were in a biker gang, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely judgy pizza boy there. But it made me think of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like getting all nervous, like when he's dropping the pizza off at the sewer area.
Oh, yeah.
Nerve-wracking.
What was the line? Take the money, leave the pizza, or
Yeah. It was something about the good pizza is divine, but never pay full price for a late pizza.
yeah, something like that.
Something along those. Yeah.
Let's see. Moving on, we've got I got time for a couple more. It says, I delivered pizza to a house. The instructions said to open the gate and go into the backyard and knock on the back door. Now, it was really early. I showed up at their door probably 12 to 15 minutes after they had placed the order, as we were very slow. As I entered the backyard, I heard really loud moaning coming from the open window and realized the customers were having sex.
Sausage!
I'm not the one to ruin a good time, so I decided to wait until they finished before I knocked on the door. I just stood there in the backyard with the pizza in my hand for a good 10 minutes. One of their neighbors, one of their neighbors had heard what was going on and saw me in there and decided to pop outside and just stand there staring at me the whole time, making sure that I'm not stealing anything. Anyway, the most awkward 10 minutes of my life.
That is just creepy, man.
Oh, I'm sure these people see everything.
Yeah.
All right, and then
no big deal. You sitting there and you're giving her the ham sausage there. I just was holding the pineapple pizza here. I didn't want to interrupt.
Hey, maybe if you did interrupt, it would have been a, pizza for three, if you know what I mean. All right, finally.
Who brought the breadsticks?
A man answered the door in a robe. The robe was closed, but I guess he wasn't wearing underwear. Because as we're exchanging money, a stream of piss starts to fall between his legs and right onto his carpet. He doesn't seem to notice or just doesn't care. I take a big step backward out of the splash zone, and he just keeps making small talk while it's happening. Ooh, if I ever get to that point, please put me down, because that's very uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's awkward, man. These are like scary stories for the delivery drivers. I did delivery once in my life, and I did not have any crazy stuff like that.
That's good. That's good.
Granted, I only did it for 2 days, and then I called it quits. So
probably for the best. Well, folks, that does it for our interactive portion of the show, where we were talking about DoorDash disasters. When we come back, we'll tell you about tomorrow's topic, and then we've got a segment called You Do What? Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure
adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals.
Wow.
And beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm gonna do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Listen live at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. There we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Tuesday, November 10th. Now we have the Fenix Line. It is a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line giving you guys the opportunity to chime in on anything whatsoever, and it is how we accept our call-in topics for the next day. For instance, tomorrow's call-in topic is Black Friday fails. It's something Tony and I have been talking about doing for a little while now, and obviously we're creeping up on that time. And of course, retailers right now are starting their Black Friday deals well before the actual Black Friday. So we do want to hear about where you've had an issue with Black Friday. Maybe you were trampled to death. Of course, if that's the case, you'd be calling from the great beyond. But you know what? We do want to hear from you on the Fenix Line. That number, 855-FENIX-RADIO. That's 855-FENIX-RDO or 855-336-4973 for the alphanumerically impaired. All we ask is that you keep it entertaining. We'll compile those together, put them out in a future show. Now, in this show, in this segment, wanted to talk about you do what? Basically, after people find out what your profession is, well, they've got some questions for you that maybe don't necessarily make sense or are just way off base. Now, Tony, obviously being with Costco for almost
20 years.
Yeah, almost a quarter of a decade, a quarter of a century. You know, obviously we bounce questions off of you on return policy stuff or when stuff's going to be coming in. But has anybody ever asked you just the weirdest, most random question after learning that you work at Costco?
Off the top of my head, nothing too weird. I mean, most people get all happy and they love Costco and they'll start talking about products there. One time when I helped a lady find a Christmas gift that we were sold out of. I was in Thornton at the time, and I found her. I think it was like the Fort Collins store, the one I'm at now, Timnath, had something, and I told her that they would hold it for her. She's like, "You made me so happy I could kiss you. I'm gonna kiss you on the cheek," and then she kissed me on the cheek. So
hey, that's nice.
That was random. It was just it was an elderly lady. She was super happy. It made her day. Enough to kiss me on the cheek. It was a little weird, but that was probably the strangest thing I could think of. But no one said anything like weird, like, "Oh, you work at Costco. I'm gonna stab you." What? What? No.
Now, prior to this life of broadcast and all of this, I had worked in the automotive industry, working for luxury car manufacturers. And there was one time I told somebody, you know, I'm a marketing director for Mercedes-Benz. And to which point they said, "Oh, you know what? I'm having a problem with my engine. Would you mind checking it out?" I'm not a mechanic. Yeah. I work for a car company, but, you know, I mean, that's apples and oranges. And, you know, I know my way around.
Sorry, I can't. I don't handle that stuff. Sorry.
Exactly. So that's what we're running down. For instance, you have this person who said, "Oh, you're a programmer? I have a problem with my printer." Again, it's like the engine. Programming and IT is quite a bit different. We have friends who are photographers. They currently photograph dogs, but they prior did weddings and celebrations and events. Well, I'm sure they got this one all the time after people found out that they are a photographer. You're invited to my party, event, wedding celebration. By the way, could you please bring your camera with you? All they want is free photos, obviously.
Yeah.
And, it's not a inexpensive service. Photography, good photography can be expensive, but it's well worth paying a good photographer for. So,
Oh, absolutely. Instead of, just bring your camera. Oh, so you're assuming I'm just going to take pictures this whole time? Okay.
Right. And, give you these high quality photos. Not so much.
Way to go, a-hole! Give me stuff for free, please.
Here's one that I know my brother gets. He's a graphic designer. Person says, "Oh, you're a graphic designer. Can you make a logo for me really quick? It's for my cousin's birthday. I don't have any money to pay, but we'll have multiple revisions that will cut into your actual paying work time, but then get upset when you ask for payment." Again, don't ask for free things, and don't expect that graphic designers just have a button that magically create a logo for you. There's a lot of work and dedication that has to go into create these logos. It's more than just pushing a button and expecting something to magically come out.
Right. Jeez Louise, man.
Here's one that I get all the time, obviously, from a background in marketing and doing what I do here. Person asks, "Oh, you work in social media? How do I blow up my Instagram or YouTube?" Conversation usually then goes somewhat like this. "Well, you need to provide good content that matches your target audience." To which they reply, "Yeah, but I don't want to put any real work into that." "Okay, then buy 500,000 fake subscribers from India or China." "Yeah, but they're not real." "Well, then you're not providing any real content." There's no easy way to blow up your following. It's not.
Just happens.
It's a lot of hard work. It's consistent content. It's the reason we do this show each and every day. It's to keep things consistent and provide, entertaining content to promote the things that we need to promote. So
absolutely.
Just the way
that's the whole thing. You got to find your niche audience out there too. It doesn't just, just throw your name out there and you get a bunch of followers. It just doesn't work that way.
No, it's finding your audience and refining that audience and figuring out, who you're speaking to. And so, obviously, we appreciate those that we're speaking to for this show and the various shows across Fenix Media.
Yes, thank you.
As always.
Sharing is caring.
Moving on with, "Oh, you do what?" You have this person who said, "Oh, you're a pharmacist? Well, I have this huge gaping wound on my left butt cheek. Can you look at it and tell me what I can use over the counter?" To which their reply is usually, "Sir, you probably need to go to the hospital."
Yeah.
Pharmacists are not doctors, and of course they don't have a over-the-counter solution for everything that ails you.
But come on, they're pharmacy techs and all that.
Pharmacists.
Well, I'm pharmacist too, yeah.
You
I was gonna
used
say
to...
my ex, when she was a tech, I think she still is. I don't know, but she used to get asked weird stuff like that all the time. Like, "So I'm having this rash. What should I use?" You get all kinds of weird stuff. She would come home and tell me a lot of that stuff.
Hey, there's no patient pharmacist confidentiality, so be careful what you tell your pharmacist.
Yeah, absolutely. Because granted they don't use names. I never heard who or what asked, but it was always this person asked me for this. I'm like,
The extra strength ass cream.
yes. Where's the ass cream? The hemorrhoids are killing me.
Moving on with "You do what?" "Oh, you're a musician? Play that one that goes ba-da-dum-dum-da-dum-bum-bum." Again, just because they're a musician doesn't know they know every single song. And when you see a musician perform, it's because they've had hours upon hours of practicing that one specific song. They're not just going to bust out whatever they can off the top of their head. Many can't. Some can, but it's practice and dedication. And again, just like any of these other jobs, they do it professionally, and of course they have to practice professionally. So,
yeah. Well, it's funny too. That reminded me of when we worked at the video store. People would always be like, "Oh, cool, you work at the movie store. Do you have that one movie with the one guy? He was in that thing with the action star who." God, they were in that movie, you know, the one with the guy and he was in the elevator shaft, you know. Well, you know what I'm talking about. They used to get that a lot.
That's part of where my encyclopedic knowledge of random movie and pop culture things came from, was exactly those people saying, oh, you know, the one with the guy that was in that other movie with the girl that they did this, and, you know, being able to put, you know, this maze of questions together to figure out what they're actually talking about. So
yeah, that useless trivia comes in handy if you do 6 degrees of separation. You can literally link any 2 actors to one another.
Yeah. We used to spend many a night at late night at Denny's drinking coffee.
Denny's doing that.
Yeah,
like trying to link, giving each other like, why don't you link John Travolta to Hulk Hogan? Yeah. Okay, it can be done.
Yeah.
So
yep. But we digress. Moving on with You Do What? For instance, this person who's asked, oh, you work in a law firm? My son's ex-girlfriend wants full custody of their kid. What should he do? Dude, I'm a paralegal. He needs to get a lawyer. There are no shortcuts.
No.
Let's see. Moving on. A couple ones that, kind of lame. Let's try this one. Oh, you work in construction? Proceeds to ask about fixing things around the house, asking if something was installed wrong because it doesn't look right, or wanting price quotes for various projects. Again, not everybody in construction is a contractor, somebody who deals in all things. Many of them are specialized in certain things, whether it's woodwork or stonework or whatever, painting. Just because they work in construction doesn't mean that they cover all facets of that construction. Yeah. Let's see. And then finally, oh, you're an accountant. Can you do my taxes? No, Mary, I can't. I work for a corporate company, not the freaking H&R Block.
Simple.
Yeah. Ask follow-up questions, people.
It makes me think too, earlier with Costco, being at Costco, I get a lot from people. If we have like if I'm not at work, they'll ask me like how much a membership is, and then if we carry certain items. So luckily I'm pretty vast in knowledge, but sometimes it's a little ridiculous where you're like, I don't know.
And to be fair, there are times where I'll be at my Costco and I'll text you and say, hey, does my Costco have this? And
that stuff's fine. Mike does that too. It's always good. But I'm talking like sometimes people I just met, they'll ask me, oh, well, do you have this at Costco? Yeah, I guess.
Go online, folks. That's what a phone is for. Folks,
it's all different.
That does it for this segment of You Do What? When we come back, we're headed into the final segment of the show. It's time for This Day in History. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. We've made it to the final segment of the final hour of this edition of the Kristian Fenix radio show on a Tuesday, November 10th. Now, if you missed a portion of the show or you want to go back and catch up on any of the previous shows, it's easy enough to do so. Head over to phoenixmedia.us, click on the show's link, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix radio show. From there, you can get video or audio as well, or head over to wherever you get podcasts, whether it's Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart, Doozer, Dozer, Geezer, Gozer.
Are you a god?
Yes, sir. I am.
And saved us all. While you are there, be sure to subscribe. That way you always have the latest episode. Leave a review. Let us know what you think. And tell your friends, because why, Tony?
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. And we care. We care so much that we like to drop a little knowledge on you each day. Hopefully make you laugh at the same time. It is time for This Day in History.
Traversing the globe for the stories that turn the world on its head. It's This Day in History. Your correspondent on the beat,
Kristian Fenix.
Always appreciated, Siri. All right, kicking off this day in 1619, Rene Descartes has the dream that inspires his meditations on first philosophy. Tony, do you ever have dreams that inspire you to write papers or do something?
Maybe do something, but not write papers. No.
Okay. Yeah, for me, it's usually waking up with a song stuck in my head that inspires me to listen to that album. For instance, this morning, I inexplicably woke up with Korn's Freak on a Leash stuck in my head. Can't tell you why. It just happened to be there. Moving on. This day in 1871, Henry Morton Stanley encounters David Livingstone at Ujiji near Lake Tanganyika in Central Africa with the immortal words, Dr. Livingstone, I presume.
That was a tongue twister there, buddy.
Yeah, there's some hard words.
You're going to say Lake Titicaca or something. Lake Titicaca.
Yeah, not in Central Africa, but I'm sure you've heard that before. Dr. Livingstone, I presume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a lot of the cartoons used to utilize that in whatever fashion. So
there's their running gag back in the day, and as kids we just were like, okay.
Yeah, never knew quite what it meant or where it was from. Well, now you know.
Now we know.
This day in 1885, German engineer Gottlieb Daimler unveils the world's first motorcycle. A lot of people don't realize that he was also the inventor of the automobile and, of course, named his car company after his daughter, Mercedes.
Oh, a lot of history tied into that.
Yeah, I mentioned in the last segment that I had spent some time working for Mercedes-Benz. My family worked for Mercedes-Benz, so fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, I've got sort of a wealth of Mercedes-Benz knowledge, including the history of how it all got started with Gottlieb Daimler.
That's awesome. Gottlieb. He's more a psycho.
He's German, not British.
Well, he's going to be British for this segment. Gottlieb.
This day in 1911, Andrew Carnegie forms Carnegie Corporation for Scholarly and Charitable Works. And of course, everybody's familiar with Carnegie Hall and Carnegie just about everything.
Yeah. I was just going to ask if he was tied to Carnegie Hall, but you answered that one, and now we know.
Yep. This day in 1917, new Bolshevik government under Lenin. No, not John Lennon or Thomas Lennon. Vladimir
Bolshevik.
Lenin suspends freedom of press temporarily during the October Revolution, which I'm still dumbfounded is something that occurred in November.
He's Bolshevik. I tell you, it's a bunch of Bolshevik.
It's a steaming pile of Bolshevik.
It's a big pile of Bolshevik.
This day in 1920, George Bernard Shaw's Heartbreak House premieres in New York City. That was a play. Don't know much more beyond that.
Now, come on down to Heartbreak House. It's gonna be a bunch of Bolshevik.
This day in 1931, the 4th Academy Awards, Cimarron, starring Lionel Barrymore and Marie Dressler, wins. And of course, if you recognize Lionel Barrymore, that is the grandfather to Drew.
That's what I was just about to ask. Again, answered the question I was thinking to ask.
Beating you to the punch, Tone. This day in 1934, the first NHL penalty shot is awarded to Montreal Canadiens forward Armand Mondeau, stopped by Toronto goaltender George Hainsworth in the Maple Leafs win 2-1. And so
Armand Mondeau.
I don't know about you, but hockey for me is always a little tough to follow. It's so fast-paced, trying to figure out what's going on. My favorite is always the penalty shots because it's
penalty shots are great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a one-on-one thing, and you know what you see exactly what happens. And of course, now they're a little bit easier than they used to be as of maybe a decade ago. That the goalies' pads aren't as big. You know, it used to be for the longest time a goalie could essentially fill the entire goal. And it was boring. You'd get 0-0 games and not a whole lot of fun.
Right.
Here's something I never knew. This day in 1940, Walt Disney begins serving as an informer for the Los Angeles office of the FBI. His job is to report back information on Hollywood subversives. And of course, this was, back in the blacklist time, the McCarthy era of, God forbid somebody's a Nazi sympathizer or a Russian sympathizer.
Yeah, informer.
We don't talk often about World War II, but in this case, I think it's worth stating. This day in 1954, the Marine Corps War Memorial, unveiled in Arlington, Virginia, is dedicated to the U.S. Marine Corps who died in defense of the U.S. since 1775. And of course, it is that statue of the Marines raising the flag in Iwo Jima.
Nice.
Yeah, just an iconic image. So well worth covering and honoring those folks who gave their lives during World War II.
Absolutely.
Back to the NHL this day in 1963, Detroit right wing Gordie Howe surpasses Maurice Richard as leading NHL all-time goal scorer with his 545th career goal in a 3-0 Red Wings victory over Montreal Canadiens in Detroit. That's a lot of goals.
That is a lot of goals. That's a great job.
Yep.
On this day in history.
Tony, do you want to go on down to Sesame Street?
I sure do.
Well, this day...
Come on, Mr. Noodle. Let's go right down with Elmo.
This day in 1969, nice, Sesame Street premieres on PBS television. Of course, it is the brainchild of Jim Henson, who's brought us so many great Muppet-related characters over the years.
Minus Sweetums.
Who still gives Tony the willies.
I don't like Sweetums. No, it's Elmo wasn't an original Sesame Street character either, because I remember when we were kids, that was not one character I was familiar with.
Yeah, I want to say he popped up in the early 90s.
Yeah, because we had like Grover was like a real big one.
Yeah.
Super Grover! Like he was really popular, and Oscar the Grouch.
He was always my favorite. Just curmudgeon-y.
Yeah, I always had a lot of Oscar the Grouch merch as a kid.
Yeah.
And Cookie Monster.
Oh, Cookie Monster was by far my favorite. considering how much I love cookies.
Yeah.
Moving on this day in 1988, Oral Hershiser is the unanimous choice as the NL Cy Young Award winner. He was a great pitcher in his time.
He was a fantastic pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now he's one of the commentators for the Dodgers.
Is he really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
he is.
That'd be worth tuning in for.
Yeah, good old Oral. Weird name, too.
Weird name,
Oral
yeah.
Hershiser, yeah.
I wouldn't want to grow up with that name.
What's your name? Oral. Oral gel? Nope, Oral Hershiser.
Oh, and finally, this day in 1990, the John Hughes film Home Alone, directed by Chris Columbus, starring Macaulay Culkin, premieres in Chicago.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
That was a lot of fun. And Macaulay Culkin put a post out recently. I guess it was his birthday. And he basically said, if this doesn't make you feel old, I'm 40 now. That makes me feel old.
Yeah, it does. Because he was our age. Well, obviously, when we were a year younger, thank God. But when we watched Kevin McAllister take on Pesci and Stern there.
Of course, the character never ages because we continue to watch it, and it's weird to put that connection together. But
right.
In any case, folks, let's roll into today's holidays. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that soundbite eventually. Today is National Area Code Day.
Yeah, it's the 303, the 970, the 775, the 702.
Yep. Just as boring, today is International Accounting Day.
Oh, hey, will you do my taxes for me?
Today is National Forget-Me-Not Day, which actually is about reconnecting with old friends and family. Okay.
No, well, that's good. I heard from somebody I haven't heard from in a long time this morning, so that's good.
There you go. It's National Vanilla Cupcake Day. That's something I can certainly get behind.
Okay.
It is National Young Readers Day. It is World Science Day for Peace and Development. It's the United States Marine Corps Day. And of course, as we mentioned, it is National Sesame Street Day. So folks, that does it for today's show.
Hello, everybody.
We'll be back tomorrow with a brand new episode. And being Wednesday, it is Words Are Hard Wednesday. Folks, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore